Hey people, Duncan here again. I'm going to talk about America's youth and how it turned out to be what it is today. So first and foremost, please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment in the box below, and hit that bell for notifications. So I'm going to talk about this, how our youth became what it is today. I think it starts maybe even in World War I. And here's what I mean. Stick with me here. Many of our young men between the ages of 16 and 25 went off in World War I to go fight for the country. There was a draft. Many of these men were literally drafted to go fight. Their first father figures, or their main father figures, were drill sergeants. They get out of the military, they come home, they have children. World War II starts. These kids are taught discipline because the fathers only knew what was taught to them by the drill sergeants. So these World War II veterans go off much like their dads, and their other father figure is a drill sergeant. So you have a father at home that's basically a drill sergeant, and you go off to the war, and you're taught and raised basically by drill sergeants. So then they come home. Now you're talking about the Korean War. Same situation. Many military brats are raised by drill sergeants, go off to go fight for the country, they come home, much like the previous. But then something happens. By Vietnam, the American press, the media, started going to the front lines of war. They started videoing and placing war inside the living rooms of every home. They started attacking our soldiers, which at that moment was primarily men, because women were in the hospitals, the medic tents. Men were the ones off fighting for the country. They were off on the front lines. The videos depicted our men as evil, murderous individuals. Now, when they came home, they were hated, spit on, pushed around, treated like crap by their own people here at home. There was a movement that was created to make our soldiers look bad. There were plenty of protesters that held up signs that called our soldiers baby murderers. This was a large reason for the woman's choice movement, the Roe versus Wade, the abortion movement. Now think about this for a minute. The first time they let media on the front lines, the first time they depict war as the horrible thing it is, it spawns this entire generation of "I refuse to listen to you" individuals. These people start treating their fathers who come home from war like drill sergeants. They say, "I'm rebelling, I'm against the war, I'm against the machine, I'm not going to go fight for the country." These children, this generation, had men grow out their hair. Women wanted to be not wear their bras. We had drugs. We had hippie culture. We had the Summer of Love, which was basically sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Now, none of these hippies wanted anything to do with discipline. None of these hippies, many of them ran away from discipline, ran away from their drill sergeant fathers. This was when women fought for their rights of choice. And the whole thing was based on delegitimizing the father. American fathers were depicted to be these horrible, aggressive, disciplinary, drill sergeant-like individuals. Soon, men lost the right to save an unborn child from a mother getting an abortion. Men have no choice. It's woman's choice. Suddenly, an unborn child's life means nothing compared to the mother's life. And we no longer respected discipline. We no longer respected ourselves or our bodies. Now, this generation of I'm not going to be my parents started raising their kids to be their friends instead of their kids. Worried that the kids were going to run away. Worried that the kids were going to do all these things that these parents did. They became their friends. Now, here's the funny thing. There was once a day when we taught our kids responsibility for their choices and their actions. In 1973, women taught our kids that there was no consequence to having sex. That it's your body and that anyone can have as much sex as they want to have. Because there's a birth control pill, otherwise known as a population control pill. Or there's now abortions. Now this empowered movement, this entire sexual generation begins to grow. Now when you tell a person they can have as much sex as they want to have, here's the thing, you're no longer telling them that if you choose to have sex, there will be consequences. You're now removing the consequence by allowing them to have emotionless abortions. Sex in this country goes rampant. And here's the thing, once you tell a person that they can have as much sex as they want, it's a matter of time before sex, in a traditional sense, becomes boring. Soon, homosexuality pops up. Soon, more and more homosexuality pops up. Soon, you have massive sexual industries. Soon, sex is pumped on every magazine, in every counter, at every store in America. Soon, sex and sexuality is put on every television show, on every movie. And our youth is subverted into believing that they can be these sexual creatures. All based on the fact that there is no consequence anymore. Now we live in a generation where kids don't identify with their gender. We live in a generation where some states, including the one I live in, push for free abortions. We live in a country that recognizes a known racist's agenda of population control. Specifically, minority population control. We live in a country that recognizes Margaret Sanger, a known racist, as a hero. And we wonder what's wrong with our generation. End this lunacy. Teach right from wrong. Teach our children, your children, that every choice and everything you do has a consequence. And sex is just like everything else you choose. It has a consequence. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Be responsible. If you like this video, hit the like, subscribe to my channel, comments in the box, hit that bell for notifications, and let all your friends know that I'm here and I'm talking. Have a great day. God bless. Be responsible, people. Duncan, out.